Welcome back to my channel, Corina's Cool Creation. I'm Corina. Glad to have you back today. I want to start off by apologizing. It's been more than 2 weeks since I put out a video. I've had a lot of hard lifing going on the last 2 weeks. That's a story for another day. But anyway, I'm doing a post review of Diamond Art Club's Mandy Manzano's Worth Melting For. Um, this went together like butter on toast. Snow Queen, the one I did prior to this, which is this one's sister, I had problems with two of the symbols. It had the triangle in the top left corner and the triangle in the top right, and they were both blues. Well, this one, it was totally different. Had the same symbols, but one was green and one was pink. So, and you can tell by looking at the picture, there wasn't a whole lot of green and pink to begin with. So even with them symbols, I didn't use it very often. It was such a big piece that there's pinks up here in her coverall. Can't think of the name, her shawl. And there was a little diamond come off on me, darn it. Had some pink down here and these flowers here, and a little here and on this side. That was all the pink that was used. And then the green was her little tie here on her hair on each side. Green on the bodice of the dress, and then green right here, and then a little bit on the stems of the flower here at the bottom. But as you can see, as Diamond Art Club always produced very sparkly, beautiful, vibrant, shiny colors. I didn't have any slick spots in this canvas at all. It just went on. It was so easy. The color blocking, it was so easy to do it because the color blocking, there was so much of the same color in the areas, especially the skies. Sometimes I got bored with it. I went ahead and just switched up numbers because I was bored doing the color I was doing. So there was major color blocking in this, but I loved it. I loved every minute of this. I didn't get frustrated one little bit. As you can see, this is just gorgeous. You're not missing anything. Here's the bottom. So you're seeing pretty much everything. It's wrinkling up on me there. There's the bottom of the dress. I think, from the Snow Queen to this one, they made this one longer and they showed more of the dress. I don't think they necessarily had to go as big. They could have cut down some of the sky by an inch or two, and then they could have cut off probably 3 or 4 inches of the dress and still have a very beautiful picture. Now on the dress, it did have this flower, so you really probably couldn't cut any off the bottom, because if you did, you'd be cutting into the flower. But the flower starts here, so they could have cut off an inch on the bottom. And if they had made the sky the same size as Snow Queen, you'd have probably lost around 4 inches of, the sky up here. So they could have kept it the same size and still had a beautiful picture and not cut out any of the detail on the picture. So I wish they had done that instead of having 2 separate sizes. But I know all the new pieces that Mandy Manzano's, all the new pieces that have come out and have all been the same size as Worth Melting For, not Snow Queen. So At least they're being consistent there. I just wish they'd have been consistent with Snow Queen on. You know, either make them shorter like Snow Queen or make them longer like Worth Melting For. One thing I didn't like that I had problems with, I ended up having to make a copy of the legend. They do have one here on the top left, and they do have one on the bottom right. But you have a section from here to here that you don't have a legend on at all. So once I got this part over the top of my easel, I had to unfold mine, unroll it to look at the legend. That's when I thought, well, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to make a copy of it. And so I hung a copy up, and that's what this paper is hanging there. It's a copy of the legend. So if they're going to make it that long, I wish they had put in an extra legend on one side, just either right below or right above, depending on what side they put it on. Because that was an inconvenience, a big inconvenience of having to enroll it to look at the legend. Once I got to here, it rolled over my top, so the only access I had to was the bottom, and that was rolled up underneath me. So I wish they had put a legend on that side, on one of the sides in the middle. But other than that, it was a beautiful piece to work on. I'm glad to be done with it. You know, you always get excited about doing a piece, but once you're done, you're ready to move on to your next one. That's me. I loved every bit of it. I enjoyed it, but I'm ready to move on now. What I'm going to work on, I have no idea. It's not going to be the one I want, but anyway, that's another story. So that's all for today, guys. I know this is a short video, and I promise I've got some unboxings to do, and maybe I'll explain a little about what's going on in a whip and chat if I can manage to try to do that. Just to make a quick story short, my mother is getting really bad. We're actually looking into putting her in a nursing home. She's ready to go into a nursing home. And it seems like each day she just gets worse and worse, and it's less than she can do. So the less she can do, the more I have to do. So it's really soaking up a lot of my time taking care of my mother. Any of you out there that are caregivers know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not a fun situation for either person. You know, my mom's really unhappy with the situation because she can't help out, and she knows I'm limited to what I can do because of my disabilities, and you know, I'm having to pay the bills now, and I'm having to spend a lot of time in there with her because especially around mealtime, because she likes to go in there and cook, and she's leaving burners on, she's leaving the oven on, she's leaving the refrigerator on. Just, you know, things that older people sometimes have a tendency to do. So we're hoping it's nothing like Alzheimer's or anything like that. It's just her forgetting to do certain things, and let's just hope and pray it's nothing like that, because I hate to see people wither away right in front of your eyes when they're still alive. You know, Alzheimer's is such a bad thing. So yeah, that's taking a lot of my time. It's like 3:25 in the morning, so this is when I have time to myself. And So that's when I'm awake the most, is at night. When I sit in the front room with her, there's times where I'll doze off for 25 minutes, 30 minutes or so and get a good little cat nap in, just because I don't sleep at night. I take like a cat nap during the day, and that's what I get. So I don't want to bring anybody else down. I just wanted to do this quick post review of Mindy Manzano's piece from Diamond Art Club. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so you can get notifications of future videos. We'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye.